Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us today for, I guess, what we will call a magical day in Niagara Falls. It's great to have you with us today for our announcement. It's my pleasure to actually make the announcement that the Disney Institute is bringing a one-day training to Niagara Falls, New York, as part of the Niagara Global Tourism Institute. Niagara University are bringing Disney Institute here on Wednesday, March 2nd for world-class training. And to talk more about that, it's my pleasure to introduce the 26th president of Niagara University, Father Jim Maher. Father?
Thank you, Tom. It's my pleasure to welcome Lieutenant Governor Kathleen Hochul, who's here with us today, also Mayor Paul Dyster, and I also want to give a special thanks to Chris Shefflin, who co-chairs the Niagara Global Tourism Institute with me, for his wonderful support of this entity that is a wonderful example of a partnership between industry, government, and universities, and Niagara University specifically. I have a little bit of a different thought as we start today, and it goes to my background as a theologian. In the book of Genesis, after the story of the great flood, God sends a symbol to remind the people of his abiding presence, and it's a rainbow. And the rainbow is really a sign that God says, in the array of these colors, I will be present and with you for all of time. As I think about Niagara Falls and Niagara University, I think Niagara University has been one of the rainbows for Niagara Falls. My predecessor, Father Joseph Levesque, for all of his 13-year presidency, made presence, activity, service, and engagement with Niagara Falls and Niagara County Niagara's gift of the rainbow, and in those days, experiencing Niagara Falls' darkest hours. There are many examples of the rainbow of Niagara University. The Niagara Learn and Serve program, where our students in and outside the classroom take their experience of the curriculum and they apply service. So students from all academic disciplines, from nursing to social work, to education, to business, to hospitality and tourism. Taking the links of teaching, service, and research and what a university can bring and be an example of God's presence to the people of Niagara County and Niagara Falls. Some specific examples in which the university has endured its presence and its relationship with the citizens and the people of Niagara County and Niagara Falls. Our sponsorship of the Heart, Love, and Soul Emergency Food Program that many of our faculty and students and administrators work at and alumni each and every day. My commitment to early childhood education and brain development for young toddlers in Niagara County. Niagara University's commitment to a literacy center and literacy development. Our Nursing Leadership Institute. Our border and our disaster relief efforts. The commitment of the Levesque Institute in service. And last but not least, the Renew Niagara program, in which we seek to work with Niagara Falls and Niagara County to build capacity, to focus on the quality of life of the people who live here, and to focus on the environment. Today, we reveal another color of the rainbow. Our commitment in the Global Tourism Institute to bring in the Disney program for training and development what a university should be doing. To build capacity, to build upon the best year in 10 years for tourism in Niagara Falls and the Niagara-Buffalo region, to focus on excellence in business in the hospitality and tourism area, and to make our commitment as a university to deepen our presence and our commitment as a part of that rainbow through what we as a university can bring, teaching, service, and research, and human capital, labor, and power to be able to elevate all the boats in Niagara Falls. This commitment of the Global Tourism Institute is really our effort to continue to connect the dots between academic programs, between the gift of what a university has and what this university has with a full college of hospitality and tourism, to support the business community, and to be that presence and engagement where economic development and social development are inextricably bound, and they grow together like a hand in glove. This effort would not be possible without our partners in government. And it is my pleasure to thank and to bring up our Lieutenant Governor, Kathy Hochul. Please welcome Lieutenant Governor Hochul.
Thank you, Father Maher. What a beautiful image you created with the rainbow. And you think about it originating in the Cataract City here, and truly the arch of the rainbow going all the way to Niagara University, which is a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, too. So thank you for your many, many contributions, some that you mentioned here today, but truly a legacy of service to this community and a willingness to step up at this time when we are reimagining Niagara Falls, and you are such an important part of that. So we thank you for doing that in your important role. And Tom Burns, thank you for introducing the program here today, and Chris Shefflin for your vision and staying with us and working through. Where's Chris here? Where's Chris? All right, well, Chris Shefflin, you're getting a big shout out even if you're not here today. That's how good he is. Even when he doesn't show up, we're acknowledging his great talents. And of course, to be in the city that this mayor has led us out of the darkest times with. And I want to thank you for your leadership and your friendship and relationship that is so deep with our governor, Andrew Cuomo, who asked me to be here today. So thank you for bringing us to the point we are today. But the sky's the limit, and we are just beginning to bring back Niagara Falls. And, of course, another partner of ours in the legislature is John Soretto. Thank you, Assemblyman. Thank you for working with us so closely on these initiatives. This is a very exciting announcement. When I first heard, we were up at the campus talking about campus assault, sexual assault on college campuses, and I want to thank you for your willingness to have this pretty serious conversation, a difficult conversation, but one that you were willing to have with us on your campus to protect the students who are part of the Niagara University family. And you mentioned this, and I wasn't quite sure what the Disney Institute is all about. This is a very big deal. This is taking our regional tourism efforts to a whole new level, capitalizing on the brand name, the legacy of creativity, the global influence that Disney has. That is all going to come here in downtown Niagara Falls, where they're going to bring their best and the brightest to share ideas with us. So we, again, think about how we find our place in the global tourism world, because we really are. When you talk about the rainbow in Genesis, when you think about Niagara Falls, it is a gift from God. And this is a gift from God that we should be utilizing to the best of our ability. And this is part of it. This is an opportunity not just to say people will come because it's there, but we have to give them other reasons to come. And that is what has been the foundation of this whole Regional Economic Development Council, saying tourism is great, but you have to get out there and promote it, sell it, leverage other assets in the area, which is what this is all about. It's not just about the falls, because it doesn't take that long to look at the falls. And if it's a cold, windy day, it may be 5 minutes you're going to look at the falls. But how do we get them to stay? How do we create the environment that's welcoming and get them up to the wonderful wine trails we have? Let them hike along the beautiful state parks that we've just invested $65 million of state dollars to bring back our state parks to the glory that they deserve. We understand how important tourism is to this region. It is the number 2 employer in all of this in Niagara County. About 14,000 people rely on tourism. And our governor has invested so much in the last 4 years in promoting the state of New York. I just literally came in from Long Island yesterday, and there are signs about Niagara Falls on Long Island. So we are doing a better job of promoting the entire state, not just to the outside world, but to other New Yorkers. And people come to New York City. Over 60 million people come to New York City every year. Let's get them upstate. Let's get them to our region. And you are doing what it takes to make that happen. We can't just wish for it to happen. It has to be a strategic plan that has been formulated by the Regional Economic Development Council. You are executing it with the leadership of Niagara University and Chris Shefflin with this Global Tourism Institute. And that is why your vision in saying we can't do it alone. Let's bring the best in the world when it comes to recreation, family entertainment, and tourism, Disney. Let's bring them to downtown Niagara Falls and understand the secret sauce that's needed to take us to that next level. And we're going to get there. We're going to get there. So I'm excited to be part of this announcement. I think I'm looking forward to perhaps even, I can't see what my schedule is going to be like that town. You know what I'm doing in the next hour. But I will do my very best to do whatever I can. It gets me home. But also just to say, this is just a continuation of Governor Cuomo to upstate New York, to Niagara Falls, and making sure that the locals, the leaders at the local level, have the resources they need and everything that the state can possibly do to be a willing partner to take us to the next level. And this announcement today is an important part of that. So congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor, for your great words. It is a magical day, as we said, the secret sauce. I like that. We'll have to use that. It is my pleasure, too, and a number of people have been welcome, but I want to do that officially. John Soretto, the Assemblyman from New York State. John, thank you for being with us today. I'd also like to welcome Jamie Maxim, who's here running for County Clerk with us today. Thank you, Jamie, for being with us. And a couple people here from Niagara University. Senior Vice President Mary Borgognoni is with us today, and Executive Vice President Dr. Debbie Colley is with us today. Thank you for being with us today. You'll hear from our Provost in just a little bit, but it's my pleasure now, and he's been recognized by the Lieutenant Governor, so I cannot say any better words than the Lieutenant Governor said, but please welcome Mayor Paul Dyster.
Thanks very much. It's always a pleasure to stand up here partnering with Niagara University on something. And I think Father Maher, when I first became mayor, one of the first tasks that Father Levesque, your predecessor, gave me, he said, why don't we put together the notebook that has at least a little information on all of the partnerships between Niagara University and the city. And when it got thicker than the New York City phone book, we called him up and he said, Father, maybe we should digitize this. It might be a more efficient way of recording all of this. So very, very excited to be here. And I'm sure Chris Shefflin would be here, Governor, if he could, but he's working on 43 North, right? Where we're going to have announcements about the 43 North winners, I think tonight, right? And of course, we're here today to talk about workforce development, one of the 4 pillars of the Global Tourism Institute. But business incubation is also one of those 4 pillars. And I think it's only a matter of time before we have the opportunity to start hosting 43 North winners. We've already had them on various tours here, and we brought them to the conference center and talked to them about the tourism industry in Niagara Falls. And only a matter of time, I think, before we start incubating some of those businesses right here in Niagara Falls. And I think it's about time that we do that. When I came into office 8 years ago, I said we were going to get serious about focusing on the tourism industry, because we have to remember that this is an industry, right? We expect it to produce jobs. We expect it to produce investment. We expect it to be a real economic driver here. Then we have to be certain that we're treating it seriously as an industry. And in any industry, workforce development, obviously a very important part of that. So you need some serious partners in workforce development, and I think we can all agree that it doesn't get any more serious than partnering with a global leader, a global icon like Disney. And that's fitting, because Niagara Falls is a global icon itself. Today's announcement is just another in a growing list of achievements, whether that would be enhancements to our parks, like Niagara Falls State Park, or the whole chain of park improvements along the Niagara River, above and below the falls, work going on now on the gorge trails. At the same time, the Robert Moses Parkway South project is underway, the largest expansion of the park at the falls since the day of Frederick Law Olmsted, right, in the late 19th century, right? But we're also developing new tourism infrastructure, including quality new lodging, restaurants, meeting facilities, or specifically today, this wonderful partnership that's going to begin to sow the seeds for sustaining and advancing the quality of the service by members of our hospitality industry as we move into the future. And I know in the Vincentian tradition, it's all about service, Father, right? All about service at Niagara University, all about service in the tourism industry in the city of Niagara Falls, right? So just more evidence that, in fact, we're moving forward, not just with the tourism industry, but generally here in the city of Niagara Falls. The overarching vision for the Niagara Global Tourism Institute is to be a place where ideas and creativity of academia on the one hand, of practitioners in the tourism industry on the other, come together to define what's next in the advancement of the tourism industry. And what better place could there be for that to take place? What better place for a test bed of ideas than in this iconic destination of the global tourism industry, Niagara Falls, and especially right here in downtown Niagara Falls, where we have so many tourism-related projects underway and where we're just literally steps from the falls. So I want to thank the Lieutenant Governor for being here today. I want to thank the Governor for his support of Niagara Falls and specifically of the tourism industry in Niagara Falls, which, as you've heard, has had a record year this year. So to have a record year next year, we have to beat this year. Boy, we got to keep doing these great things like we're working on here today, because we're setting the bar very, very high for ourselves. But I want to congratulate Father Maher, all his team from Niagara University and the Niagara Global Tourism Institute on this new partnership. I wish them all the success in the world in this collaboration with Disney, and I look forward to seeing this relationship grow and prosper in Niagara Falls in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Just one other real quick welcome. Another member of Father's Cabinet is here, Dr. Kevin Hearn, who is a Vice President for Student Enrollment, Academic Affairs, Enrollment Management. So he's here as well. And the next member of Father's Cabinet is going to speak, our Provost and Chief Academic Officer. Please welcome Dr. Tim Downs. Tim?
In the spirit of the baseball season, I'm speaking on cleanup, I guess, going forth. I'd like to thank you, Lieutenant Governor, for being here. And for being in attendance. It's a symbolic gesture that there's great support from the state for what we're trying to do in Western New York. I'd like to thank all of you for coming to hear about this exciting news. Disney is an international brand, and we're glad to be affiliated with them. Niagara University, when we look at this project, we're proud to facilitate these conversations and to move projects forward. They're going to help the tourism economy in Western New York, and this is the full impetus of the NGTI. The Niagara Global Tourism Institute committees consist of individuals from industry, from government, and the academic sector. So, like Mayor Dyster said, it's an amalgamation of people and ideas and perspectives in order to move this sector of the economy forward. As the tourism sector of the economy continues to grow, it is going to be imperative to have what I'd call both workforce training as well as education initiatives to move this agenda forward. And we do have support from industry in Western New York to do just that. As the Chief Academic Officer, I took this proposal to our Chief Academic Officers in Western New York, and we had a really good conversation about the tourism sector. And what we all realized is it's a quiet industry, but we need to promote it more to our students. We need to promote it as a not just a degree program, but it's a career path that will start with maybe jobs while you're in college and then moving you into internships and getting them into the pipeline, because we have to fill the workforce with people who are ready to take on this job. So they're very excited to do just that, and they're prepared to promote the jobs and careers in the tourism industry across all the sectors and all the institutions, 21 institutions of higher education in Western New York. Niagara University has our College of Hospitality and Tourism Management, so we're also predicting that we'll have more students as the awareness grows that want to pursue the degrees in those areas. Today we have Dr. Kurt Stahura in the building. I'm not sure where he is. He's in the back. He was waving politely. He's our new Dean of the College of Hospitality and Tourism Management. He also comes with a global perspective, having been at the UNLV school in Singapore. So he brings a new worldview for us as well to help raise the boats, as we say in Western New York. We expect that this institute coming from Disney will help us be a stronger sector of economic development in tourism, and we're really excited about that. We're also, in terms of location, very excited to confirm that the Niagara Falls Conference Center, right next door, will be where this event will be hosted, so it'll be right in downtown Niagara Falls. So again, we thank you for coming out to share this exciting news. We think that there's going to be a lot more exciting news in the future, so stay tuned, because we want to facilitate the growth of the tourism sector in Western New York as a university, but partners with industry and government. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tim. That concludes our program for today. For members of the media who are with us, we can set up individual meetings if you'd like. We can do those right next door in the conference room as well. Thank you for coming again today. Once again, on Wednesday, March the 2nd, Disney Institute is coming to Niagara Falls for a one-day training seminar. Thank you for coming today.